Hello everyone, this is Spartan Assassin here, and today we are going to look at our faction unique preview for Zhang Lu. And currently we are in our custom battle where we are able to somewhat use our champions to get most of the units here. So let us begin then with our infantry section, which is the basic sword one. So first up, we have our Farmland Hunters, which are a group of X units. Now my graphics isn't the best, but hopefully you can understand the stats and stuff. Models wise, you can actually look at the models, but if you feel that it is cringe enough to see, don't look at the models. But if you actually play the game and you actually recruit them, and your graphics are some of the best graphics, then that is good news for you. You can actually look at high graphics, but because I tend to do things in low graphics, since 3K isn't going to work well in high graphics for me, so bear with me with such the low graphics. So first up, we have our Farmland Hunters. They are quite a basic light X infantry, so their role is just the assault, and they are actually good against shield. The only bad thing is they cannot adopt any advanced formation such as the turtle formation, the shield wall formation, or whatever formation they can't even use. So the only formation that they can use is loose formation. So in a sense that they actually have a shield breaker, which makes them good against any potential enemy units which are heavily shield. For example, like your basic spear militia, your spear guard. These are some of the units which they can actually fight face to face. And next up, we have our resistance to fatigue. So this is actually quite a good trait because uh, even if you like run from this end of the field to this part of the field, maybe they are a little bit fatigued, but not that too fatigued. That kind of resistance. And guerrilla deployment, it always starts with guerrilla deployment. I'm not sure if it is always starts with guerrilla deployment, since I made all my champions and stuff at the highest level. So maybe if you are lucky, you have a guerrilla deployed general, so they can actually guerrilla deploy and just rush into your enemy's front line, and they can do the job. And if we look at the stats, it isn't the best because this is just a light X infantry. Like look at, you have morale is just 35, and your basic melee charge is 66, damage base is 13, but you have armor piercing 30, attack rate is 20, but you have high amount of health, which is 72,000. Melee evasion 10%. You have armor base of like what 7%. So this is actually quite a, I would say, as a good cannon fodder, but at the same time a good light unit to actually break at least do some damage on their enemy's heavy shield guards and stuff. So this is the unit. And next up, we are going to look at our Farmland Protectors. These are also another X unit. Again, shield breaker, resistance to fatigue, and it is also roll assault and good against shield. So there is nothing much difference between a Farmland Woodcutter and a Farmland Protector. There is nothing much actually. It's just one with 2x and another one is one with shield. That's the difference. Overall, there is nothing much to talk about them. It is just a good cannon fodder. The next one, Saber Militia, but Zealot Saber Militia. They are actually resistant to fatigue, and that's all. So this is a Zhang Lu's version of the Saber Militia. Like if we go to look at the Han version, it's just a Saber Militia, but this one it is newly redesigned, and basically we added Zealot's name for all those that are Han type of militia and then units, and we just make them like, oh, you are a follower of the Wuto sect, so basically you are Zealot now. That's the thing of issue. Next up, our Saber Infantry, Wuto Saber Infantry. Once again, resistant to fatigue. You are a good frontline unit and a missile defense unit. You can use shield wall and the circle, whereas the basic Saber militia, they are good for assault and melee defense, but they don't have the opportunity to use other formations like the one we see in Saber Infantry. Lastly, we have our Tsu Swap Guard. So this is actually a good frontline and a great frontline to actually block melee attacks. So it is in a way disciplined and resistant to fatigue, and you can use the formation of shield wall and circle. This is the basic sword class which we can always recruit from our sentinels, but for Zhang Lu you can recruit this. Alright, so now we are going to our next section, which is the green section. Basically our notable front line and sidelines. First up, Farmland Laborers. A good anti-cavalry role, good against mounted. They are charge reflection versus mounted. They have charge reflection, resistant to fatigue. I believe resistant to fatigue are all based on the generals or something, or maybe they come with their own resistant fatigue. But you get the point. These are good people who are how do I say this? They are actually a group of men who can actually defend your sideline. Your like they can actually defend your range unit well, because they have a great they are anti-cavalry, so you can always use them to defend against any cavalry charge. Next up, Zealot G Militia, the usual G Militia, but we added the Zealot version. And Spear Militia, the bandit version of Spear Militia, but being in the Wuto sect, so we put it Zealot Spear Militia. G Military Infantry, but in the Wuto sect, so Wuto G Infantry. Wuto Spear Guards, basic Spear Guards that we see, but also same, we just add the Wuto. And this is the Tnc Reclaimers, a yellow turban version of Reclaimers, which you can actually recruit if you are Gong Du, but as Zhang Lu you can actually recruit your own version of the Reclaimers, but they are just renamed as Tnc Reclaimers. Next up, Tau Penitents. So this is a new unit actually. This is a new in a way newly designed unit. So these Tau Penitents, you actually have quite a few formations, quite a few skills, not formation. So it is good. 10 Penitents, they have discipline, encourage, resistant to fatigue, guerrilla deployment, yada yada. But they have inspiring chant, which provides 15% range damage and armor piercing, and also 15% range damage base, 15% melee damage base, and melee damage, which is for armor piercing. So it is actually quite a good buff for these units, because they themselves also have their own bows that they brought into the battlefield. So it is somewhat like the light version of the what we call Protectors of Heaven kind of stuff, but instead of using glaive, they are using somewhat of a instead of using heavier glaives, they are using a light version of the glaives, that kind of stuff. And next up we have our withstanding chant. So it provides 15% morale, 15% range block chance, and 50% melee evasion. Last Lastly, we have the dashing Chen. Hold on a second. So the dashing Chen, which is 15 speed and plus 15% charging speed. So this is actually a good skill if you are charging against your enemy. So you just need to like maybe a few seconds before you charge your enemy, just click and then just let them go then. Tnc Infantry, the basic G Infantry we saw for the Han faction, but unique for Zhang Lu. We added the Tnc stuff and then that's all. 真人 Defendants. Don't be... The image looked like actually the Dongzhou unit, but actually this is a new unit. The shield is a little bit larger and they actually hold glaives rather than spears. They are actually good front line, good armor, and they have a good range weapon. They also have flaming shots as well. And flaming shot, they are also charged reflection versus mounted, resistant to fatigue, and they are unbreakable. So if you were to get your front line filled with Zhenren defenders, basically you could see that you have won nearly, you have a percentage chance of winning every battle is like what, 90% maybe, because unbreakable units tend to hold longer to the last man, which is kinda what people would fear, given that they have to spend quite an amount of time just to kill this unit. So if you ever be in an ambush battle, it's actually quite good as well, since they can make sure that nobody routs. They are unbreakable. We have the formation of loose and followed square, and we also have the mixed missile, which is if we were to use the mixed missile, the front maybe around 2 rows will be spear units, while the rest will be able to fire their archers arrows. So that is for the green side. We are going to the blue one. First up, Farmland Hunters. These are expendable archer units. So they have fire arrows, they have loose formation, so basic kind of archer units, but a little bit not good than them. I said Archer Malaysia, the Han version of Archer Malaysia, and this is the Wutao version of the Archer Malaysia. Nothing much to see here. Same goes for Wutao archers and Tnc archers. So these are the new archers that are given for Zhang Lu. They are actually quite good in melee as well. You can actually see them as a redesigned version of Liu Bei's E marksmen and E archers, which are also good in terms of melee. So they have flaming arrows, they have flaming shots, they have discipline, and they have loose formation. This is also quite a good archer. Next up, our Wutao horse archers. Good at skirmishes, you can guerrilla deploy, and you have missile attack. Excels in destroying lightly armored stuff. You have flaming shot and loose formation with a range of 200 and a speed of 119, so it is actually quite a fast unit. And Tnc horse archers. So this is a better version of the Wutao horse archer. Usually if you were to see some units who have Wutao, it's just one rank lower than Tnc, because Tnc is considered as the Celestial Master. So you can translate this as Celestial Master Horse Archer. So it is skirmishes and mobility, but the only issue is 94 speed, but you have 60 ammunition as compared to 48 ammunition by Wutao Horse Archer. So there is a give and take there. As a Tnc Horse Archer, you have flaming shot and a loose formation, nothing much. So Now let us go to our raid section. We'll start off with our mounted Lancer Malaysia, which is the C-Log version. Nothing much to see here, is just this is the Zhang Lu's version of mounted Lancer Malaysia and Wuto Vanguards. So it is good against flanking. This is quite a nice cavalry which you can use it for charge attacks. They came with loose formation, diamond formation, as well as the wedge formation. So this is just you charge and go, charge and go. Basically, if you have a group of reclaimers or general defenders holding your line, use them to charge. You can actually win quite a lot of battles if you know how to charge a lot. Tnc Vanguards. Oh, Wuto Vanguards and Tnc Vanguards, they are actually good at charging your enemy. But Tnc Vanguards actually tend to focus more on the all-rounder. They are actually disciplined. They can immune to scare. They have loose, diamond, and wedge formation. But Vanguard cavalry, usually I would say just use them for charges. Don't do anything like let them stay there for quite some time. And next up we have the D Raiders, which I can't be fully sure if they are actually for what we call Liu Zhang, or maybe Zhang Lu, or maybe Ma Chao, or maybe Han Sui. I'm not sure, but since they are in the list, so I just bring them to show you. We have they are good at flanking and charge, but weak against missile attack. They are immune to fatigue, so they are fatigue immune units. They have this raider stance, so loose, diamond, and wedge formation. So this is like a unit that you can go into the city and burn anything before they could do anything. Next up, the Cataphract. So this is the Cataphract for the D culture, in which I'm still not sure whether Zhang Lu could recruit them or not, but since they are in the custom battle list, I might as well just bring them and show you. Discipline and courage, immune to scare, loose formation, diamond formation, wedge formation. Is quite a good heavy spear cavalry. You can always like compare it to the basic Cataphract and look at yourself how good are they and stuff. Lastly, we'll look at what the commanders could recruit. First up, mounted range militia, the Z-Log version, and Saber cavalry, the Wuto version, the Zhang Lu version. We also have our Swap Guard cavalry, which is the Tnc Swap Guard cavalry. This is something new. Basically, just add a Sword Guard with the horse on it. Anti-missile, good armor. Missile resistance, this is plus 50%. Discipline, loose formation, diamond formation, wedge formation. This is actually quite a good Sword Guard cavalry, which if you were to throw them inside a melee, they could last quite some time. Though don't throw them inside spear units because they are way too vulnerable to spear. Lastly, we have our D Marauders, just like the D units for the Vanguards. Good at flanking, fatigue immune, missile resistance, missile defense. So resistance is 50%. Discipline, immune to fatigue, and immune to scare. They have loose, they have wedge, they have diamond formation. So yeah, I believe this is all the units, but I'm trying to find if I actually missed out any units that I might. Yeah, because when I actually look at the custom battle, only champions like Guan Yu until like only champions could like somehow unlock all the rosters for all this. But when I go and look at Zhuge Liang, let's say I want to look at the range units, so I went and looked at Zhuge Liang, and Zhuge Liang actually showed me the Han version instead of the Zhang Lu version, which kind of like wasted, because as Zhuge Liang I can't actually look as to what are the new types of range units that are given to Zhang Lu. And even if I go to look at Lü Bu or Dong Zhuo, which are already dead by this time, they didn't show me the Vanguard version of the Zhang Lu units. Even when I go and look at Yuan Shao, they are not showing me the Zhang Lu version of the commander units and stuff. So basically all the units that you see here are from the champion side, which I managed to get all of them in here. So yeah, I think that is all that I can talk for today. This is basically a short preview for units, and hopefully in the next one, maybe in the next update, we might be able to see more units being added, so we can also do some unit previews. And yeah, I think that is all for today, and hopefully we'll be seeing each other in the next video then. Bye.